So what if that new digital employee that you just hired was actually a backdoor for a hacker? Well, welcome to AI Monday, everybody. I'm your host, Jeff DeVerter. And this week, AI didn't just move fast. It actually maybe broke the stock market and, of course, a few of your security protocols along the way. All right, well, look, we've all heard about Moltbook this week. That's that social network where AI agents sit around and talk to other AI agents. Sounds like pure sci-fi. Well, the reality is a bit more grounded and honestly, maybe even a bit more scary. This past week, a massive breach exposed the keys to the kingdom for over 1 million of those agents. The thing is, tools like ClaudeBot are actually going viral right now because they act like, well, self-hosted employees. They wake up on their own, they check your email, they can even move files around. But here's the challenge. They actually ask for root or admin access to your computer. Now, some people are calling this the, quote, sovereign AI revolution. Others, they're calling it a total security nightmare. Now, this is important to you because on any given morning, well, if you're like me, you're just trying to clear your inbox and figure out what your calendar looks like. Well, right now, your local agent may be trying to help you do that and save you some time. But if that agent isn't secured, you're basically leaving the front door wide open. For many IT leaders watching, it's time for an agent audit. You need to know which of your team members are running these little shadow agents on their laptops before one of them accidentally hands over the company's data to a complete stranger. What's your coffee routine? Are you a push a button and get coffee or a pour over kind of person? Let me know. Well, next up, it's the SaaSpocalypse. Let's talk about the $285 billion elephant in the room, Anthropic. They just released new plugins for Claude Cowork. We talked about that a few weeks ago. And Wall Street went absolutely bonkers and lost its mind. Why? Because these plugins do exactly what we used to pay specialized software companies to go and do. Now, a few weeks ago, I talked about how maybe some of your interns could code up some solutions around this. Claude's making that even easier. They're doing things like legal reviews, sales triage, and financial analysis. Now, there's some serious tension here. Investors are terrified that the old pay-per-seat model might be dead. Now, we all know how twitchy investors can get. But then you've got someone like Jensen Huang from NVIDIA saying that the panic is totally illogical and that AI will actually make the software market even bigger in the long run. Now, the so what of this, why it's important. This is a huge opportunity for you. Instead of paying for 5 different subscriptions that your team barely uses, you might be able to use a single interface. This is about moving from buying software to buying workflows. If you can show your CFO how to cut the software spend by using these new agentic tools, well, you're going to look like a rock star along the way. Now, there's some work to do. You've got to actually understand what these business processes are. And if you've ever been in one of my workshops, you know that's one of the things we talk about extensively, understanding your business processes before we even get to the tooling aspect. Now, finally, let's look at how we actually work. Apple just dropped a big Xcode update, and OpenAI is pushing their new Codex app. The message here is pretty clear. Your job isn't really just about writing code anymore. Your job is actually managing the agents that write the code for you. I know I spent about half my week in and out of meetings working with Google's anti-gravity. Same principle applies, but here's the nuance. People are worried about skill rot. You know, what you don't use, you lose. If the agents are doing all of the heavy lifting, what happens when they break? Do we still know how to fix these things? Well, or do we just let the agents fix them? I mean, if they built it, maybe they can fix it. Now, the reality here is that your output has the potential to go to 10x, but your responsibility went up too. You're moving from the writer to an editor-in-chief. This means that your process, the way that you check your work, this needs to get a lot faster to keep up with the sheer volume of stuff that your agents are actually turning out. All right, well, here's a little something to think about. As we move into a world where we're managing a fleet of agents instead of just tools, the most valuable skill that you can have isn't knowing the right command, it's knowing how to build the right plan that those agents actually execute against. Are you ready to be a manager of your digital workforce? You might be saying, Jeff, I don't have a fleet of agents. I'd maybe challenge you to look into the tools that you're using today. You might realize there's more agents at play than you realize. Well, I hope you find these updates helpful. If your company needs help taking the next step with AI, or is just interested in a proven methodology to see real impact and not just proof of concepts, well, reach out to me. I literally am flying around the world every week. Although not this week, I stayed home. But I do help companies find real success with AI, and I'd love to help yours. You'll find a link down in the description below. Till next week, I hope you're using AI in all of the processes that you're doing throughout the day to get your job done, and maybe even in your personal life. Tell me about some of those down in the comments below. I'll be back next week with another episode of AI Monday. I'll see you soon.